welcome back to Mystical Tarot. So today we're going to be doing a deck review on the Mystical Manga Tarot by Rand, illustration by Rand, text by Barbara Moore. Now this is a Lenowin deck. It is a mass market deck. You can buy it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much anywhere on the Lenowin's Bane website too. And the reason I'm doing this review is, as I stated in a previous review on a mass market deck, is, even though it's mass market, I think reviews are important because it gives you the ability to see the cards, it gives you the ability to choose if you really want that deck or not, instead of just buying it and you only see a couple pictures, you don't really get to interact with it. Because of the way that buying tarot decks is now, you buy them online, sight unseen, and it's just a different experience. And so my goal is to help people really find decks that they really want, rather than just looking at a few cards and buying the deck and then absolutely not connecting to the deck at all, or not liking something about it, and then it collects dust on their shelf, or and so on my channel I am going to be doing mass market decks and indie decks as well. With the Mystical Manga Tarot, it comes in this great box, which is awesome. It's fun. One of the things I love about Llewellyn decks is many of them come in these big boxes, and they have these beautiful guidebooks. And these guidebooks really go into more detail than you get with the little white book. I recommend to everybody, whenever you get a new deck, whatever guidebook it is, whether it's a little white book or a big book like this, read the guidebook. One, because it gives you, as a tarot reader, another perspective on how someone else interprets the cards. Two, it also tells you a lot about the cards and why they were drawn the way they were, or why they were stylized the way they were, so that it helps you really understand, instead of just looking at it and going, well, this is, I don't understand why this Six of Cups looks like this, because the Six of Cups doesn't mean this. And you get their perspective. And so it's really, really helpful to read it. But it also just is another viewpoint, or another idea that maybe can help you in your tarot reading. You can add it to your notes, or just put it in your mind. I'll tell you, as a tarot reader, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I still study everything I can come by, and I study it, and I look at it, and I take what resonates and I leave the rest behind. There's a lot of stuff that, sometimes doesn't resonate with me. One book, for example, that I have been looking into a lot lately is actually the Holistic Tarot. So this is a huge book, like big monster book. I mean, it's like almost 900 pages. It's great. Literally, if you never did tarot reading or anything like that, this would literally take you step by step through everything that you can do. And it's great that way. But there's a lot of stuff in it that doesn't resonate with me. For example, they have a whole thing on cleansing your cards, or how to shuffle and everything like that. It doesn't resonate with me, so I don't take that part. But some of the other stuff, it helps to, learn. There's a lot of different spreads in this book that I've never seen before, and it's very awesome that it gives you a chance to learn them, gives you a chance to practice too. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but like I said, you take what resonates and you leave the rest behind. Kind of the same thing with the guidebooks that are in these decks. Even the little white book, it's a good thing to read, even if it just has a few keywords, because sometimes you'll come across a keyword and you'll be like, what? Like, I never thought of the Six of Cups as relating to that. That doesn't make sense. It's weird. But it's just the way that that particular author sees the cards, and it just gives you another idea. Tarot is very open to interpretation. There is no set answers or keywords when it comes to tarot. You got the basics, but then it becomes yours. You use it, and based on what's around the cards and how the cards are affecting each other, it can take on a whole different thing. And so it's really important to understand that, what another person sees, because it gives you another opportunity to take a look at them. Now, once again, obviously the cards are out of the box. I don't do my reviews until after I've actually used the decks. I do put them back in order, of course, for the review, but I use these cards. I've been using these for about a week and a half or so. The reason I do that is to really get an idea of how the cards work, how they can help people. These cards, they love romantic readings and they love general readings. Finance, they work okay with. Sometimes they kind of give me gibberish, but it just depends on how I ask the question. Spiritual questions, it does answer spiritual questions pretty well. Sometimes they're a little confusing, but it's not too bad. So this deck, for me, likes love and relationship readings the best. The deck is based off of the manga style, manga style, which I love. I love manga. I totally will admit that. And they're beautiful. They're very brightly colored. They're very, they have, strong colors. They're really just full of details. I mean, when you look at this hermit, there's so much detail behind them besides the lamp you see, the background with the trees, and they're walking. You can tell they're walking somewhere, and it's beautiful. I love the art style because of that. They're just beautiful cards. They're not dark cards, so if you like dark decks, this is not the deck for you. These are very bright. Even they make the devil somehow look happy. I don't know how to explain it. And the tower, I mean, although the tower is, not a card that people like to see, I mean, this one, it looks kind of happy. I mean, if I saw it and I was not a tarot reader, I'd be like, well, that doesn't look so bad. They're just, having a fly out the window, that's all. So they do make them a lot happier, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes, especially if you're doing a reading and you have someone that maybe has never had a reading before, these kind of decks are great because it doesn't intimidate them. When you intimidate your seeker, you have an issue because then they're afraid to open up, they're afraid to say anything because they don't know what they're looking at. So having decks like this around are great for those who have never had a reading before because it helps put them more at ease, relaxes them a little bit more, and they don't feel so intimidated by the cards. They look a lot more vibrant, a lot more happier, makes them not feel as scared about whatever cards pop up. So that's why I do like this deck. It is a great deck for using if you do have a client who's never never seen tarot, never read tarot, and just would like a tarot reading but has never experienced it before, because it doesn't scare as bad as some other decks, which is what I do like. Like even the Ten of Swords doesn't even look as scary as most decks. Most decks, it's like running through somebody and just annihilating them. This, when you look at it, it is going through her, but when you look, if you just glimpse at it as like a customer might, it may look like she's just holding them on her back. So it's not as, like I said, not as scary. The artwork is just beautiful on these cards. I absolutely love the way the artist did these cards, and they really held true to, the feelings and the meanings of these cards. It is, based off, you can tell this is based off Rider-Waite. However, there are a few differences, so it's not an exact clone, but it is just based off Rider-Waite. The deck itself it's 1/1 cardstock, so it is a little thin, but it shuffles so wonderfully. I absolutely love it. I have no problem with Lennon cardstock because even though it may get beat up, it's just so easy to shuffle. I keep a deck of the Wizard's Tarot in my purse all the time just so I can even just sit around and shuffle because it just feels so nice. They're not hard to shuffle. You're not, beating yourself up trying to shuffle the cards. You're not, getting a workout from shuffling the cards. They're just nice. They flow, and they can shuffle any way that you're looking to shuffle the cards, any way that you're looking to do anything with them. They just are really nice. They are obviously thin, and they can take damage pretty easily, so if you don't like damage on your cards, then, be a little bit careful. Personally, I love a deck that has some love in it, and a little beat up, because it shows that they've been used. It shows that they've been cared for, in regards to being, a deck that someone really loves. So this deck overall, I love it. I think it's a great deck. I think it's a great deck for starters even, if you're beginning, especially if you may be frightened of the Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism. Some of it is a little bit more dark and scary, so it is a great deck. I do like it. It's very, like I said, very easy to shuffle. This, like I said, with me, it likes to give love readings, but it will do other readings also. Just sometimes you gotta push it along, and I've only been using for a week and a half, so maybe as time goes on, they'll work better for me with other readings, but we'll see. But I think it's a great deck. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's, you know, one of those decks that you should definitely have, especially for new seekers, people that have never come to tarot before, because it does give a sense, it gives them more a sense of peace, because they're not looking at the cards like, why does that one look so scary and everything. So that's just my 2 cents. If you have any comments, please leave comments below for me. Also, I'll leave a link to purchase this deck in the description box if you are interested in purchasing it, as well as a link to my website. I do have all my tarot decks on my website, as well as my oracle decks. If you find one on there that you'd like to maybe see a review on, shoot me a message, drop something down for me, and let me know, and I'll happily do a review of them. I love doing these because it gives people a better idea of what the decks are like before you go and buy it. So I'm trying to save people the task of buying a deck and then not liking it at all and being unhappy with it and just cluttering dust for them. So if you like my video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please, you know, stay in the loop and you'll see more videos like this. We'll be coming out with other videos shortly too, and we start doing some lessons, some other things too. So I have some things in the works, just working on getting it together. So thank you, and I hope you all have a blessed week.